We'll see what we can do with this cabinet. The girl cloth's loose, but I think I can re-stretch it, pull it tighter. That's fastened with these 4 bolts and nuts through the front of the cabinet. As far as the rest of the cabinet, I'll just clean it up. After cleaning it, maybe put some tung oil or something on it just to freshen it up a little. I'll surround, that's not the correct one. And I'll put Philco right here, that's where it's supposed to be on the cabinet. Back in the woodworking shop, I gotta see what I can come up with to mount the speaker to. To get the shape of the inside of it in here, I can just mark the outside. The side and the overhang on the front totals a 1/2 inch, so there's my 1/2 inch mark inside my arch. So now we'll draw new lines for that. Well, looks right. Let's see how it fits. Need to mark where these glue blocks are and cut out for them. Alright, let's try that. Okay, that'll work. Those screws that go through the front of the radio with the nuts on them that I took off, they go through this piece with the nuts on the back side. So I'll do the same thing with my new piece. And I can see daylight through all 4 of the holes, so I think we're good there. Now, how to mount this speaker. I gotta go do some measurements on the speaker. I think what I'll do is put some bolts on the front of this piece, and I can just attach the speaker with some nuts on the back of it. Take the cabinet back down to the workshop in the basement, figure out what I can do with mounting that speaker. It's about 65 degrees outside today. Wind's blowing, but still for December the 15th. Unbelievable. And obviously this is too large a speaker for this radio, but it was in here and it wasn't hitting on the dial or anything, so I'm going to try to make it work. It looks like I can put a screw maybe here and here, and probably one just right in the very top. I need my hole cut approximately 6 3/4 inches, so luckily enough found this coffee can lid. It measures about 6 1/2, so if I hold my pencil on the outside of that, that's going to be close enough. That'll give us our hole for the speaker. It's pretty much a circle, so do a little sanding on the edges of this, and then we'll bore our holes for the speaker mounts. Alright, doing a test fit. Here's my 2 screws in the bottom, or bolts rather, and 1 bolt in the top. Put my nuts on. I can't get these front screws in with the speaker in the way, so I'll have to put the front board in first and then mount the speaker, which makes it easier too. Alright, so I'm going to pull the board back out, and I'll put some dark stain on it or something to make it blend in. And also have to tighten up this grill cloth. I just need to pull it tight on both sides of the dial opening. Well, there's a completed board. Put a little bit of stain, polyurethane on top. Go ahead and put the speaker mounting screws in this and then get this board put in. Houston, we have a problem. I was ready to put the chassis back in. Call this restore complete. Turn the chassis on again one more time just to confirm that everything was okay. We had just noise. No channels being picked up. The oscillator was not running. So I went back and checked all my work I had previously done, the Bakelite restuffs. I checked resistors, I checked everything I could, and everything seemed okay on resistance readings until I checked from here, the primary of the coil, to here, the secondary. And the reason I checked that, I thought, well, this mica cap that's mounted up in the coil, maybe it's bad. And I had 5.6K between here and here. So I thought, hey, I found a problem. That mica cap's bad. So I started unhooking the coil. Had every wire unhooked, all the connections unhooked. Still had my 5.6K reading. Pulled the coil out. Snipped that cap loose. Still had my 5.6K reading from primary to secondary. This is called a tickler coil because it tickles the oscillator tube and makes it start working, conducting. But anyway, I started unwinding the coil, and as I kept unwinding, my resistance reading kept going up until finally it disappeared. And apparently that plastic material or whatever that they put over the top of the main coil and wound that coil around, it deteriorates, and it was acting like a resistor. I put a new piece of plastic here. I'm ready to rewind this tickler coil. A big thanks to the Antique Radio forum. There's even a couple of drawings a fellow made of how the winding is connected and rewound, and so a big thank you to everyone on that Antique Radio forum. It's a great resource. I'm ready to start winding this coil. Goes between this lug and this lug. So you thread the wire up that little hole right there under that lug. And I'm just winding it around this little outside terminal. And then solder it. Now we wind this way. So I'm just going to hold it with my finger where it comes out of that little hole. And we'll go 1, 2, and then I'll scoop my wires down together to make more room. And 17. The end then goes back to this slug right here. put a piece of tape right in here, and then I'll run the end of this wire down to the terminal. Wonder if we got 3.4 ohms like we should have. Right on it. So that's how I rewound this oscillator coil. It checks right, and hopefully it'll fix the problem on the radio. Got the coil put back in, everything hooked up. Double checked it to make sure I have all my connections hooked up correctly. So let's see what we got.
Learn more or schedule your appointment today. Visit AllenElectrical.com. Allen Electrical, they'll never leave you in the dark. Broadcasting live 24/7 from this.
I think we're okay. Let me turn these LED lights off and see if that buzz goes away.
I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks a lot for being here. Always.
That's my first time rewinding a oscillator coil like that in an old radio. But hey, by following those instructions that were on the antique radio forum, made it really easy, and we were successful.
And peace and believing.
That's shortwave, and I've only got like a 3-foot antenna on this, but it's actually picking up a shortwave channel. Well, the radio is playing really well, picking up a lot of different stations along the dial. I'm just going to peak up the trimmers on the back, and using my Heathkit AG8 signal generator.
We're not showing up without our best. And so this is the part that I get to.
Well, that completes the chassis. I'm going to let it play for a couple hours just to make sure it's okay, and then back in the cabinet. We'll see what I can do to this cabinet. Well, not too bad. It's got some scratches. I've already cleaned it as best I can with some soapy water. So, see if I can make it look a little better. And what I used, just some tung oil. When you're not going to strip the wood finish off, and you just want to refresh the old finish, it really works good. Here's the correct dial surround and the Philco letters. These are just water slide decals, so just put them in the water, let them get a little wet, and they'll release. Here's a look at the back of the radio. You'll notice I've got the speaker wire, got it routed up beside the cabinet. the new speaker board I made. It blends in pretty well. Hope you've enjoyed the videos. I've enjoyed restoring this radio. Really had to use a lot of troubleshooting skills to figure out what was going on. And then that oscillator coil at the end, we figured it out. So thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. And we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Thanks.